All right, welcome in. Hold on. Chat. There we go. Sorry, hold on. I'm just getting some stuff set here. All right, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition. Pugs, hi, Leslie, Pugs, and Parker. The Pillow Talk edition. We do this every night at 9 o'clock, 9 Central Time. It's the second of two streams that we do each and every day. The first one is high noon. I don't know where Parker is. I have no idea. He's usually here by now, but he's not. There's usually a whole bunch of people here by now, and there's not. Hi, Kenny. How are you? Welcome in, Kenny. The High Noon Show, join us at noon every day. That's where we do topics. It's hot topics. It's, trending topics, headlines, all that kind of stuff. It's a nice little cheat sheet for you. Get you filled in on everything that everybody is talking about. Oh, here he is. Oh, but it went black, so I can't see him, so I won't engage him. This one is Pillow Talk. This is me and Parker, and we just get together and we talk for an hour, and you people are good enough to come along. And it all came together when Mom came along. I don't know if I should engage Parker. He's got like that Wu-Tang medallion right there. Is he there? Yeah, there's no. All right. There he is. Okay. All right. What do you say, Parker?
It's good to be here. Good to be seen.
Yeah. You gave me a nice excuse to not do the show yesterday and go out for a late night run. So don't feel bad about that.
Oh, are you jogging again?
Oh, am I jogging again? How many miles we do today? What we do today? Well, how many we do today?
I did 0. What'd you do?
I did 2.39, but after this, I'm going back out again. There we go.
Really?
2.39.
I do. I gotta tell you, I find that totally impressive because when I met you, I never thought that 20 years down the road you'd be the jogging type.
Is that 2.39 or 2 point? There it is. 2.39 miles.
You got it. Okay.
Hold on. But I got to get up to 3. I got to do 3 every day. So I will probably go out tonight. Not probably. I am. I am looking forward to it. After this show, I'm going to go out for another 1.5 miles. Oh, have you not been brought up to speed on my new Spartan existence? I am changed. Lent, baby. Lent. I am no longer a Catholic, but I will still change my life between Lent, what is that? Ash Wednesday and Easter. So I am running at least 3 miles every day. I am eating less than 1,200 calories a day, and I am waking up early, and I am writing. Trying to finish this book is the hardest part, but I'm doing it all. I'm eating. I'm going to be a better person, James Parker.
This sounds amazing, actually. And I found your previous discovery of running late in life. I found it very inspiring because you did some post one time that where you used to like jog as far as you could, and then when you got tired, you would walk.
Yeah.
And then you got to the part where you would power through it, and then you never walked because walking is for wusses.
Well, I do occasionally walk now. I think a nice brisk walk is a very nice thing, but typically, yes, I do. I try to jog because this is in response to a heart injury that I suffered a number of years ago. I need to make sure that my cardio is I need to pay closer attention to I don't have to watch what I eat and all that kind of stuff. Although, let's be honest, it'd be better if I was thin. But because of the damage that occurred to my heart, I have to make sure that the cardio is good. I have to make sure that it can if it struggles, it needs to make sure that it can push through. Does that make sense?
What do you mean your heart? Like, did you get some fentanyl or something?
No, I suffered
myocarditis. Do you need some horse dewormer?
I suffered what was known as a myocardial contusion, which is damage to the heart. Took a very big hit to the heart. Basically, it's the kind of thing that people who fall out of windows, people fall from great heights, people are in car accidents and have chest injuries. It's not a heart attack. It's essentially like my heart was bruised. Like that took such an impact.
Okay, so what was the impact? Did you like fall down at Whataburger or something?
No. I was embarrassed embarrassing. I was thrown in a wrestling class and I landed funny. I was wrestling somebody who was much larger than me.
Oh, you're doing the Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff, huh?
Combat wrestling. But yeah,
Combat wrestling,
yes,
dang.
yeah,
You
different.
could so you could just absolutely beat the piss out of me if we got in a fight.
No, not now. No, no,
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel
no,
better.
no. You're big. You're big and you're strong.
But
No,
I'm not trained
no.
in any of that. Couldn't you, like, with your wrestling techniques, just make me eat my own butt? Like, if you got me on the ground or something?
Yeah, but I won't admit it. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think if we ever really got pissed off and we were drunk. No, 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 no. If you and I started to grapple and you I would say that you have a strength advantage over me. So if you and I started to grapple, the fact that you don't know anything about holds and throws and stuff like
Nothing.
that, yeah,
Right.
that'd be bad for you. But no, I mean, if it never got to that, if you just used your length and just punched me in the face, yeah, you'd probably knock me out. Although this head doesn't get knocked out. I have a very strong head. I've never been knocked out. I've done a lot of damage to my head and I've never gone out. I had the top of my head taken off and my skull caved in and I didn't go unconscious. So,
Have you ever been amazed at the level of force of a punch you can take, like, right in the forehead and just have it not even slow you down? Like, have
James,
you ever been just punched in the forehead and you're like, that was nothing?
the forehead is so strong. That is
I know. How many times do you think it's happened to me? I got punched in the face like once a year from like age 12 to age 26. Like there
Did
was
you
once,
really?
yeah, like about once a year,
That's
like
why
clockwork,
that's why you're a man.
like clockwork, and I wouldn't even be doing anything by the end of it. And it finally faded off around
Wait,
26.
wait a second. What do you mean like clockwork? Is that how your dad woke you up on your birthday every year? What do you mean like
No,
clockwork?
but
You got punched in the face.
no, because it would always be about the time I would, just pop off to my friends like, been a while since I've been punched in the face, just almost immediately. Yeah. Yeah,
Do
idiot.
you agree with me uh that every young man at some point in his shit talking life needs to get smacked right in the face, needs to get punched right in the face? I think every boy needs to get punched right in their face at least once.
I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, of course, they need to get punched in the face. And secondly, you can tell who hasn't been
Yes,
punched in
that's
the
my
face.
point. That is
You pick
exactly
him out of a crowd from like 20 feet away. I'm like, he needs it, and he hadn't had it, and it's driving. I could be that guy. I could provide this service for you, sir.
it's
So
always the ones who run their mouth. Like you see grown-ups. Like I have seen grown men like get into arguments with, I don't know, a valet or whatever. And it's like, oh, that dude's talking to that valet like he has no idea what it feels like to get punched in the face. Ooh, let's watch. He might get punched on the face. This might happen here. It's you learn how to talk to strangers with a modicum of respect once you've been punched in the face. Once you've been punched in the face and it's a possibility, I think that you can still be aggressive and you can still be combative with people, but there's like an edge that isn't there once you know that getting punched in the face and feeling that and hearing the right when you get hit where your ears start to ring and the warmth and that whole thing where you're like, what just happened? What just happened? Every young man needs that experience.
yeah,
Everyone.
your whole head gets hot, like from
Yeah.
here up. It's just like 106 degrees, like immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they do need to feel it. But they also, like, we all need to see more fights because how many times have you seen it? Hadn't happened that many times, but every once in a while there's just some little 5'4" dude that will take down a 6'2" guy like it was Mike Tyson's punch out,
Oh
just
yeah.
boom, boom, just punching up here and just taking him down. It's like, I'm never messing with the little guy again either. I'm not gonna run my mouth or just think I'm awesome because I'm a big 6'3", Texas stud or whatever. Size means nothing. I
Yeah.
respect all sizes or all weights or
Yeah. That
fat
is very
guys,
true.
skinny guys. I just, you know what? I'm not running my mouth as much as I used to.
Very large, giant men who no one has ever stepped to are some of the worst human beings on the planet. And it's just like, I get why you're an asshole. You've gone your whole life and nobody's ever stepped up to you. I get it. You've never been punched by a 5'9" kid. That's it. I get it. Yeah, I had a very interesting 18 through, I don't know, when did I meet my first wife? 27, 18 through 27, where it was like getting into fights at the bar with people was just, I was with a group of people at times, not all the time, but at times. I was with I was with a couple of guys who did that thing. They'd get drunk and go, "Want to start a fight? Do you want to start a fight?" And be like, "Oh God, here we go."
Idiots. Okay.
All right, yes, the idiots. The in my life, it was the South Side of Chicago drunk Irish bar hooligan. Who I had a few friends who were that guy, and you just like let him go, let Tommy go, just let him go, and then like it would start and then you didn't want to get involved, but then your friend would start getting his ass kicked, and then you got to get involved, and then you're getting your ass kicked, and it's like, what are we doing? We ain't pussies, we're willing to fight. I go, that is something, I guess. I go, but we're 25 and now we're gonna go to jail. This is not fun. This is Me and my friend Jim Newtoff once took on an entire frat house. You know why?
No, there's not a good answer to that either. It's
Because we wanted to leave and the people we were with didn't want to leave. So we decided to just get thrown out. We literally got thrown out by like an entire group of frat guys. And we were just swinging and we were getting hit. And then I remember it was New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve 1989, I think. New Year's Eve 1989, and they threw us out and we were on the lawn of the frat house and they shut the door and we just looked at each other and started laughing. We were like,
Mhm.
that was awesome. We were just we were dumb and drunk on, how 19-year-olds drink on New Year's Eve. We were just like, let's start a fight. Let's start a fight.
Pugs at 19. So
That was
do
trouble.
you see Mason walking that path?
Yes.
Yeah, because he gets a little punchy on the football field, right? Aren't these some
Yeah.
of the legends I have heard of the Mace?
Yeah. He has a temper and he likes to fight. He's got a stepdad who knows how to fight. And so he's worse than me because he already knows how to fight. Like he knows how to throw a punch. He
Wait,
knows.
what's the stepdad thing?
I don't talk about them, but I leave them out of it. But he's got a cool stepdad. But his stepdad knows how to fight. His stepdad is he would be a good man to have teach the boy how to throw fists better than me. You know,
Okay.
they got boxing stuff in their garage. They got like a speed bag. They got like
I
a
didn't know
speed
this.
bag.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, they're great people. I just for no reason I just don't include. His mom was never.
Oh, understood. Just I didn't know he had boxing accoutrement in his garage.
But yeah. So my son has rage issues. And
Does he punch walls? Is he a wall puncher?
yes, he punches walls. He kicks
Yeah,
walls.
because
He
my
punches
oldest kid
me.
just for the first time punched a wall the other day, and none of my kids have ever punched a wall. So this is something it hasn't repeated. It's not a behavior that's happened more than once. But I don't want a wall puncher because I don't want to be doing a whole lot of drywall work, and
Yeah.
plus it kind of means like maybe I'm an inadequate dad that my kids having these issues. But
No, it's not that you're
it's fairly,
inadequate dad. It just means that you gave him some inadequate genes. It's
or my
nature.
wife
It's
did.
nature, not nurture.
My wife probably did.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
One or
probably a little of both, right?
the
You
Yeah.
can still get the bad genes, and if you have like a better parents than us, maybe you don't punch walls.
My son spent his entire first year of school. I was so like what, fifth grade or sixth grade or no, fifth grade. I'm sorry, like first grade or whatever it was. I don't know, whatever the first year was that he had to ride a bus. He spent the entire first year having to sit in the seat right behind the bus driver because he threw fists in first grade. Some kid. Okay, you want to hear a great story?
Your
I love.
kid's violent as hell, huh?
He's not. You know what? We've worked on it. He's not. He's a
Uh huh.
really nice kid. He's a really nice kid who stands up for himself. I'm
Is
gonna.
that like CeeLo's a nice dog that's just protecting you. Is that what?
No, CeeLo's not a nice dog. CeeLo is not a nice dog. I think you can speak to that. No, there was an older kid who was making fun of my son, and my son got into a shoving match with him in school, and they both got in trouble. He was older, he's a year older, and this kid sat down on the bus right behind him and started doing this thing like flicking the back of his head, like flicking. He's like, "Well, you gonna do something, baby? You gonna do something, baby? You gonna do something, baby?" And my kid turned around, looked him right in the eye, and punched him square in the face. Just blew up his mouth like blood. Everything just went boom, popped him right in the face, and then stood over him and yelled, "Who's the baby now? Who's the baby?" It was, as the story was told to me, it was quite psychotic and it was concerning. And then we had the incident last year where he was playing football. He was on the field, full equipment and everything, and he was being held and they weren't calling it, and he finally got really mad. It's the biggest kid on the team, on the other team. This kid was massive. This kid was like half a foot taller than him. So when they blew the whistle and the play was dead, my son tackled him, just tackled the guy that was blocking him, tackled him, ripped his helmet off him, and then started punching him in the face. And then got dragged off the field. Flags were flying. It was very, and then he had it ruined his entire season. He knows that now. It ruined his entire season. His coach was like, "No, man." He's like, "No, you're not a disciplined player. You can't." And it was just because he was being held. And so we're working on that. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. He's a bully buster. That's what he calls it. A bully. Like he doesn't he doesn't take bullies well. He doesn't let bullies pick on people, which I suppose is good.
Yeah,
But
well, we can steer that in a positive direction, because the only thing that can defeat a bad guy intent on violence is a good guy who's a little better at violence.
at violence, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just steer
Uh,
that in the right direction. The world needs people like Mason for sure.
um, let's hope so. Let's hope so. But hey, no monologue today. I didn't get a monologue.
Oh yeah, I mean I have it. I just didn't edit it all down and send it to you yet. It's kind
Well,
of a
you know
thing.
what? Let's just freeball it then. I don't think we need to. I don't think we need it. We can just.
Are you comfortable doing that? Because I can do that.
I think I am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Comfort Nest Lounge, high above the One Percenter compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. We like to bring up the kids of comedy. Please welcome to the stage, making his debut, James Wheatthins Parker.
Thank you. So
I
good to be
called you
back.
Wheat Thins because I'm looking at a box of Wheat Thins.
Is that where that came from? Didn't sound very inspired after all. All right. Hey, did you hear about how bad the Russian ruble is doing? It hit a new low today, Pugs. In fact, the Russian ruble is now worth less than the Russian ceasefire agreement. Yeah. Death is hilarious. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is blaming cancel culture for his downfall. He says the movement unfairly stigmatized sexual assault. That's not fair. According to the Globe magazine, the British royal family is broke. To give you an idea how bad it is, Pugs, the Queen was wearing a crown today that she got at Burger King. In those paper ones that just. Kanye West added a new item to his Yeezy fashion line. It's a distressed straitjacket.
Yeah.
And finally,
Finally already?
yeah, well, we're done freeballing it, that's for sure. March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month. Experts say the recovery rate for gambling addicts is low, but you might as well roll the dice.
Hey, James,
Hey, Pugs.
got a minute?
I do.
What do you think of this cancel culture? What do you think of this whole? Do you think it's a real thing? Do you think that because here's why. This is a little observation that I had today. Didn't the woke mob? Didn't they come after Aaron Rodgers? Oh, we got an Amber Alert. Oh, jeez.
They're on to me. I
Are you
kidnapped
getting
another kid earlier. Yeah. I was riding around in the free candy van.
Are you getting one too? Did yours go off or is it just mine?
No, dude, I'm soulless. I don't sign up for that.
All right, hold on. Hold on. I didn't sign up for anything. Is that something you can opt out of?
If
Because
it if
I don't want to be the guy that opts out of the Amber Alert. I don't want to be that guy because I think that'll put me on a list. Where they come looking first.
because you're a good person.
I try to be. Child
Yeah, right.
abduction in Burnett, Texas. Unknown vehicle victim is 11-year-old white female Helen Pierce, who was last seen wearing a white shirt and blue jean shorts. Suspect is an unknown male. Okay, that's not a good one. That's not suspect is her dad, who's having a custody fight or whatever. That's not a good one. Okay. So that just bummed everything out. Where's
Yeah, yeah.
Where's Burnett, Texas?
No idea. Sorry. Here, let me
I'm
look.
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up Burnett, Texas. I'm gonna try and see where it is.
All right, I'm looking on the maps.
Burnett,
It
Texas.
Yeah, it is just a little northwest of Austin.
Yeah, there it is. Let's see here. What is that? What's 281? I don't know what 281 is.
That's the one that kind of wraps back around and comes to Fort Worth, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's like oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So it's further west of 35. It's like over. Yeah, there
Yep.
you go. Okay. Well, that's
It's a good
that's
three and
still
a half
touchy.
hours away from you.
That's no good. All right. So here's my thing about cancel culture. So Aaron Burnett,
You mean Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers?
Rodgers, didn't they try to cancel him? Wasn't that the deal? Didn't the mob come after him? And didn't he claim that they were trying to cancel him?
I guess so. And then I guess you're going to bring up his big old contract.
I'm going to bring up the fact that since being canceled, he won the NFL MVP for the second straight year and now has received the largest football contract in the history of the NFL. So, what are we talking about here? What is a cancel culture? I mean, certainly Louis C.K., he took it on the chops. That guy lost tens and tens of millions of dollars. He went from playing massive arenas, which his last tour that was canceled he was playing big arenas and big concert venues, 18,000 seat basketball arenas. And now you can see him at the Improv in Addison again. So that definitely took. Then you got the guys who are in jail. You can't really count Harvey Weinstein. He didn't get canceled. He got arrested and put in jail. If that's what cancellation is, then
No, I
fill the
love this conversation because you're absolutely right. It seems like some people absolutely 100% get canceled beyond belief, and then
Mhm.
other people manage to skate through relatively unscathed because cancel culture is absolutely real for Roseanne Barr. But you're right. It is definitely not real for Aaron Rodgers. It's not real for Joe Rogan. It's not real for Jordan Peterson. There's a whole list of people who have hit some tripwires that you would think would end your career, and they seem to go through it just fine. But other people, they really do just get erased from the history books like it in a day is what it feels like.
So there's that comedian. A lot of comedians seem to take it on the chops with cancel culture. Like Louis C.K. absolutely got canceled. I mean, you can put a dollar figure on what he lost. He lost a 3-picture film deal. He lost a TV develop. He had 2 shows canceled that he was running on FX Network. FX Network dropped his entire deal that was
Mm-hmm.
worth $50 million. I mean, he really got canceled. He had his first movie that he wrote and directed and starred in that was released like a week after he got canceled, and every movie theater pulled it. You can't find that movie anywhere. It's called I Love You Too, Daddy. Or I love you, daddy, or whatever it's called. So he definitely took it on the chin. Leslie says Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, I would say Colin Kaepernick definitely took it, but although I don't know how dedicated Colin Kaepernick was to actually coming back to playing football. It seems to me that Colin Kaepernick probably. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to go into the whole.
I
Colin
know. Like
Kaepernick.
he had offers in the XFL and he had offers in Canadian football and he had other things like that offered to him. But I don't think I would take a job in the XFL. So I
No, no, no. That's like Louis C.K. Okay, what, he wasn't canceled because he's got offers to play the Improv
right,
when
right.
he was playing, stadiums. I go, that's not the same thing. Colin Kaepernick is more of a difficult one because he took a stand and he was more all about it. Bring it on. You know what I mean? Like he did these things. It's different than, like, a guy who showed his dick to a female comedian and then everybody decided that he was no longer going to be able to work, right? I mean, it's a little bit different, I think. Aaron Rodgers, who he just didn't get the vax, and all of a sudden he became like the worst person, in the world. There are people who have had career um uh problems, but I don't. Okay, well, here. Uh, no, okay. So I'm looking at a list here, and they go Harvey Weinstein. He wasn't. Kevin Spacey was canceled. Kevin Spacey, that one seems to have taken.
Oh, that's an absolute cancel. And yeah, and so this is the fun part of the discussion is the fact that cancel culture does have a democratic element to it in the fact that we all kind of have to generally agree if a cancel's going to stick for it to stick. It's not just like it's
Or not
declared
care
and
and
it
just go
happens.
with it. That's a
Or
big part of
what?
it too. Not care and just go with it.
Right. And
You're saying
so
we all have to agree, like we're all offended, or we have to all just not care about the person and say, yeah, whatever. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. And so for Aaron Rodgers, we're kind of learning that, all right, we're not going to cancel someone over lying about the vaccine or getting the vaccine because he went all holistic and he was dating some crunchy granola girl that gave him an essential oil. And so he's like, yeah,
Exactly.
I'm vaccinated. No, he's just an idiot. And that's all right. It's not like a mean-hearted person like Michael Richards. Like he gets canceled because that was really ugly what he said, and I'm not sure if
Yeah,
I
that
need
was
that
kind of
need to
weird.
be yeah, I'm not going to be standing next to that in my next major motion picture. I'm not going to pay for that.
Hmm.
So it's good to see because this is what the discussion is for, is finding out where the levels are. Cancel culture will take a Roseanne Barr and grind her in the dust and never to be seen again. But
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, biggest contract in history. Joe Rogan, biggest podcast in history.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, not canceled, didn't stick. And then you have people like, and I'll throw out Al Franken. He self-canceled himself. That was not even a real.
Oh, that one bothers me the most because it's one of the weakest cases.
If
Like
he had
what
just ruled that out, if he had
for
just,
for another like 4 days.
yes,
You're so right.
ah,
Oh man,
he did
why
it
did
to
he do
himself.
that? What? Yeah.
Because Kristen Gillibrand is a complete bitch. Kristen Gillibrand got on the floor and she made that impassioned speech where she almost started crying about how awful it is and how she doesn't feel safe anymore. That was a play. That was as disgusting as, I'll say it. It's no less disgusting than some of the behavior that I've seen come out of Josh Hawley. Okay, that's
What?
Kristen Gillibrand. She completely overstated that situation, and she
Here's another
and
part
Al
that
Franken can never work again.
yeah, and well, I can go ahead and read your mind. Here's another part that bothers you about it is that Al Franken is not some sort of career politician that rose up through the machine. He's an outsider who got in and started looking around and seeing what was really going on. And since he's not from that party, he's in a position to, more so than most politicians, to call balls and strikes. And he was kind of calling balls and strikes and throwing criticism, about people on his own side of the aisle that you didn't normally hear. And it was almost like, you know what, this is a good convenient way to just get rid of this guy because he's a little too not on board.
I'll tell you one of the good things that did come out of that, though. It blew back on Kristen Gillibrand. She has been silent ever since that because she is not well liked anymore in her own party. People think that she torpedoed somebody who they thought was a very good person to have in the party. I mean, look, all kidding aside, Al Franken during the whole run of the Trump presidency would have been hysterical. Al Franken would have been very funny. He would have been very entertaining. And Kristen Gillibrand has pretty much been benched ever since that. She's not an important player in the party anymore because of that speech that she gave, where he decided, okay, I'll step down. But that's on him. That's on him. He did it to himself. How
Well,
about
Will makes the comment Al honk honk Franken, and so that's pretty obvious allusion to the picture of Al Franken pretending to grab the woman, but she's wearing a flak jacket and she's asleep. Do you remember that picture?
Yeah, of
They're on like
course.
an airplane going to a USO event or something.
He didn't touch her. It was a picture. He was like a foot away from her or whatever, you know?
Right, and I remember in the coverage of that, I forgot who it was, but someone said, "How would you feel if that was your daughter?" I'd be like, "I'd be okay with it because she was asleep and she had a flak jacket on, and he wasn't actually like you can't get a handful through a flak jacket like one of those bulletproof vests, and so I mean it's like wearing a life vest, and so even if he did have his hands on there, and no, I'm okay with that. Like that didn't bother me at all.
But
Like
also, wasn't that woman like, okay, so if we're talking about how what was the crime there? Was the crime that he was sexually objectifying her, or is that the crime? Because wasn't she a playmate? Wasn't she in Playboy? And now all of a sudden she's totally appalled to have woken up and found out. Boy, wait till she finds out what teenage boys do with copies of her Playboy. That's really gonna send her into a she's gonna not like that at all.
yes, speaking of honk honk,
It
yeah.
was all so silly. It was all so dumb. All right, let me ask another one. How about J.K. Rowling? Has J.K. Rowling, has she been canceled?
Yeah, that's a tough one because what does she have besides Harry Potter? Well, nothing, and we'll never know now because maybe she has kind of been canceled in the future, but you can't go undo the $2 billion she's already made from that franchise,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. She's fine. She's like,
So yeah,
I don't wanna write anything anymore. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if you're coming to cancel her, you're too late. It already happened. It's like trying to cancel Jerry Seinfeld. He's like, nope, I'll be fine. You know.
how about this one here? They ask, that they include R. Kelly. Did R. Kelly get canceled or did he just get caught?
No, that's not the same
It's not
thing.
the same thing.
No, no, because when you can marry Aaliyah when she's 15 in like 1997 or whatever, and then still escape prison and or cancellation for the next 25 years, then I think you got off easy. The hammer did not come down on you. The hammer of cancel culture, Thor's hammer, isn't exactly
Uh,
what he faced. I mean, we even have video of it.
yeah. Yeah, no, he just got caught. He was a criminal and he got caught. The J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, famous cancellation in the last few years, took to Twitter. She took to Twitter in support of a woman with history of making comments seen as transphobic. That's all she did. She supported a woman who this woman in her past had been transphobic, and she supported her.
Well, no, a woman had gotten fired from a government position for saying women are women and men are men.
Chris Noth. All right, Mr. Big. He's one of the more recent ones. This is a list of people who got canceled in 2021. Chris
Well,
Noth, Mr. Big.
see, that's hard to gauge because what was he gonna do anyway?
Well, he lost. He had a TV show on CBS and he got fired from it.
Well,
So
that counts then. But I mean, it's not really a cancel like it's some sort of snowflake. Like I was offended if he actually like sexually assaulted people.
right?
So
Yeah.
that's not cancel culture. That's you're a damn criminal. And
And he got caught.
well, see, now here's the counter to that argument too, because I'm not 100% on that. And I hate to be so wishy washy, but I would like to present to the court Michael Jackson. We know he was doing untoward things with children the entire time. He got away with it for decades, and still he's semi lionized.
See, I don't know. We know that. See, I'm not with you.
We know that,
No,
dude.
I'm not with you on that. I do
You're
not
not
know
with
that.
me that Michael Jackson did diddle little
No,
boys.
no, I'm not.
Okay, but
I don't know.
how,
I
okay,
feel about that the way I feel about God. I don't know.
okay. You know what? That the agnostic approach is
I
somewhat
really don't
valid.
know because Michael
But
Jackson
but
was so weird that it's very possible that he was just this
right, and I
hunted
hope you're
child.
correct, but we also recognize the astronomical odds of all the little kids that stayed the night at his house between the ages of 8 and 11, and they were all boys, never girls. That's just a coincidence.
Hey, playing little boy games. I don't know. I really
I
I
know
don't.
Peter Pan. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't go on that one. That one's OJ did it. Michael, I don't know. I don't know. OJ totally did it and got away with it. But Michael Jackson, I don't know. I don't know that
Well,
he did.
because the only counterbalance to all these very valid arguments about how he went to court and he had to settle, and they even described his genitalia in court and they got some specific details right, and the main recourse you have is you know what he was a weird guy.
Justin Timberlake. Okay, so
He's not
obviously
canceled.
he
Not
couldn't
canceled at
be,
all.
but he's listed here as somebody who was canceled.
Or did someone
Earlier this
attempt to?
Earlier this year, Justin Timberlake took to Instagram to offer an apology to two women, Britney Spears and Janet Jackson. Oh, don't you remember this? I remember this from a couple of weeks ago. He apologized and everybody said, "We don't, oh, thanks for reminding us. You're canceled." And then, he's still JT. He's, I don't know, is he cancelable? I don't know. Following the release of the New York Times documentary Framing Britney Spears, focusing on Britney's conservatorship, Justin Timberlake received renewed backlash for how he treated the star in the early 2000s. The two were in a relationship that garnered much press. And okay, so yeah, we're over it. He's fine. Justin Timberlake is fine. I wish it had a list of repercussions that these people faced. Piers Morgan canceled.
No, he's fine. He's fine. Look, do they not have Paula Deen on there? Because Paula Deen lost her entire empire.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Now this is just a list from the last year, but yeah, absolutely. Paula Deen, she got blown out. But, apparently she threw around the N-word.
Well, the timing's really
A lot.
weird. Like, she said this stuff in 1988, and y'all are concerned about it now because it was like, what, 2017 or whatever.
I do
And look,
agree
it
with
was
that.
some really weird stuff, but like, yeah, no one had a problem with it in 1999 or 2002, and she was coming up.
In 1988, the word fag or faggot was like coming out of my mouth every other word. That's how we talked back then as little teenagers yelling at you fag, what are you, gay? What? So, I mean, if you want to cancel me now because of that, because what if some tape resurfaced where, a 17-year-old me is calling his friend gay? Really? Okay. That doesn't seem fair. That's
Oh,
all right.
absolutely not. No,
That's
and so they do that to people quite a bit. Like when they dig up Ted Danson using the N word
in blackface.
in blackface, or Howard Stern, yeah, using the N word in blackface. They weren't doing that in appreciation of the fine art of the minstrel show. They were mocking it, So it kind of the same way that the slurs that you weren't actually homophobic and we're like, oh, let's go oppress homosexuals. Called someone, it was just vernacular that almost used the absurdity point.
No, but you know what I feel about that now? For years, I used to refer to the way I used it as playground gay. Like you would say, like if you saw like your teacher holding hands with her fiance, walking through the parking lot after school, you might go, "Oh my God, look at them. That is so gay." Right? I mean, like it's totally a heterosexual example that you're seeing, but you're using the word gay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were using it in a non-sexual way, and I used to defend it that way, saying I wasn't talking about homosexuality. No, we weren't talking about. I didn't think my friend was actually gay when I said stop being gay. That's not how I meant it, and that's not how I used it. And I used to defend it that way. But recently, and I'd say probably within the last 10 years, I've rethought that, and I've gone, yeah, but I was still using it pejoratively. I was still using it as a
Well,
negative, like being gay is a bad
it, it,
thing.
it
So, I mean, for that, I do
so
apologize. That is
I
I
like
was wrong.
I like course, but I like the hypothetical. Like, what if Blades came out today? What would happen? Also, like the example, Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor in that Saturday Night Live skit where they use the N word. The dead honky where he's
Yeah,
doing the job application. You probably know. You probably saw it the first
yeah.
night it
Chevy
came out.
Chase and Richard Pryor. Charlie Chase,
Yeah.
Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. I believe that was one of the very first Saturday Night Live.
So yeah,
Where
the
he's
N word was on Saturday Night Live, and it wasn't like glorifying it or calling someone it, but for the purposes of comedy, they did something that wouldn't be allowed in modern times. And was it from a place of hate? Is Lauren Michaels a white supremacist Klansman? Of course, it's just interesting to see that somewhere along the lines, the rule. And I don't know if we're better for it.
I don't think that we are. Hold on, I need to make a couple of quick changes here. I just watched tonight before we came on here. And by the way, this is a spectacular documentary. It's on Amazon Prime, and it is a new documentary. It just posted. It was directed by Amy Poehler. and it is about Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. It is fantastic. It is called Lucy and Desi. It is really interesting. And they show clips from back in the day. And there was a clip from after Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz had broken up and they were still co-running Desilu Studios together. And Lucy was doing a new show, Here's Lucy. And Desi Arnaz was still the executive producer because he was the president of Desilu Studios. And the guest on Here's Lucy that week was Sammy Davis Jr. And Lucy and Sammy Davis, this is between takes, but the camera's still rolling. So we're seeing this behind the scenes footage of what's happening. And Desi Arnaz walks onto the set, takes one look at Sammy Davis Jr. and says, "Oh my God, no one's ever going to watch this show. Because too many minorities are involved. Hey, I thought I was the token minority." And then Sammy says something like, "No, I'm the token." And they're all laughing and they're talking about. And I'm watching this and I'm going, there is no malice in this conversation at all. But if some snowflake 20-year-old were to see this, they would be so offended and they would clutch their pearls. There's not a bit of malice in it. It almost goes back to, I like to ask people when I meet them, I like to ask them what they are. Like, we talked about where I come from. I come from a very segregated area where, the Germans live in one neighborhood right next to the Italians, and then the Greeks live over there and the Irish live there. So whenever I see people, I always talk to them. I'll say, "Well, what are you?" I have talked about this and people are like, "Oh, that is offensive." I'm like, wait a second. It's offensive to ask somebody what their ethnic culture is, what their history is, what their family background is, because that's all I'm doing. No, why do you need to know? Because I'm interested in
You're
people.
othering them. You
Yeah,
ask
no.
what they are. Can I touch your
Yeah, that's pretty
hair?
much. Yeah, I
hear you.
do. That's what I mean. I ask white people all the time, "What are you, German, Ukrainian? What are you? What are you, Jewish?" I'm just wondering. That's interesting. Oh, so that's the neighborhood you come from. But that's how we talked, and there was absolutely no hatred or judgment in it. I just like to know what people are. You know what I mean? I don't see anything wrong with it. And I also have the ability, I used to if I'd meet like someone who is Asian, I would say, are you Thai? And then 9 times out of 10, they'd go, "Oh my God, I am. How did you know that?" I go, "Oh, just because I have an ability to be able to tell every Asian person where they're from." How is that insulting, taking an interest in someone else's culture? I don't get it.
Oh,
Now,
it's not.
if
It's
I
not.
said that
And
to
if it
him,
is racist,
it,
it,
then I'm
if
racist.
it is
Then that's
racist, at
fine.
least it's no. Well, it's a very benevolent form of.
Well, it certainly doesn't put my race above theirs. That's the definition of racism, where you believe
Right.
that certain cultures or certain races are just inherently superior to others. That's not it at all. If I look at you and I hear your last name and I say, "Oh, is that
Right.
German?" And your response is, "How dare you?" Then my response would probably be, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're not German. You're just an asshole." Because that's not culturally insensitive to inquire about people's background. I'm very proud to be Irish. Where I come from, people are very proud to be whatever they are. People walk around in Chicago neighborhoods with jackets adorned with South Side Polish or South Side Italian or South Side Irish. That's a very common thing. So when I came down here and people started to be like, "Oh, you're not supposed to." Oh, you know what I got down here, James? A lot when I would ask somebody what they are, they would say American, because it's almost like the South, or maybe it's just Texas. They didn't hang on to their cultures. Like if you were raised by a family, you know what I mean? You didn't celebrate St.
Well,
Patrick's
I
Day the
don't
way
know.
maybe my family
Sure,
did.
sure. And my lineage is like Irish and English and Mexican, but I don't know anyone that came from Ireland. In fact, my mom doesn't know anyone that came from Ireland. So we're like far removed from it.
Yeah, that is so different compared to where I'm from. We relish our ethnicity. We relish our cultures. We don't hold it above anybody. Well, that's not true. That's actually not true. But what I'm saying is You could I just don't understand why
Right.
you can't have a conversation about somebody's personal family ethnicity or their culture without it being seen as, I think that's terrible. I am just naturally interested in people when I talk to them, and one of the things I go to is, what is your mom? What is your dad? Where's your mom from? Where's your parents from? Where's your family from? Because we're all immigrants. Whether we're just one, two, three, or four generations removed, we're all
Uh,
immigrants.
yeah.
Do you know your family
That
story? I love
see
that stuff.
sure. Yeah, the thing we have to watch for men is everything we say can be interpreted as creepy. Because like if I look at a young girl and like, "Ooh, you're beautiful. What is your mom Persian or something?" That sounds it does if you write it down on paper. But what comes out of our mouths is disgusting.
That sounded legit
It's
creepy,
like,
actually. Actually, that sounded creepy
yeah,
to me. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you saying? Tell a young girl. You don't tell. We're
good.
old
Then you
men. We don't tell young women they're
get it.
beautiful. Yeah, what's up with your connection? Your connection is horseshit.
You get my point because like I can ask. I get that. But it's like when it always sounds creepy. I'm like, hey baby, you want me to rotate your tires? That sounds like something dirty, but I'm just really about basic car maintenance. So
Do you
that's
think?
part
Do you
of it
think
is
that
we're
means you might
gross.
just be
If
a
my
creep?
wife said it, or if yeah, we no, be the tendency to be identified or perceived as a creep gets exponentially larger if you're a male as you age. And look, once I get once you get to like age 60, there's just certain things you're not allowed to even acknowledge more. You're not even supposed to acknowledge yourself as a sexual being.
Yeah, that's not good. I actually saw him started
Is
to
that
fall apart, and yeah, you got a terrible connection. And I thought it was me, and I closed down everything. I turned my phone off the connection. I turned my laptops off the connection. So now I'm just sitting here and I'm fine. I think it's you. You wanna how many bars you getting out there? What are you doing? You hot spotting? Is that
yeah?
what's
Well, I
happening?
think I have like a donkey turn a week that runs our Wi-Fi.
All right. Well,
Sorry about
it's
that.
actually I'm very interested in this conversation, but it's very difficult to have because of your current situation.
Well, the point is
What if you turned off your
there's a
camera?
certain
What
point.
if you turned off your camera? If you turned off your camera, would that maybe be better and just talked?
No, I got a lot of stuff I can cover here. You want me just? I have a lot
Yeah,
of
you're
this.
frozen because you are like frozen now.
What about now? Is the audio through?
Yeah, but you're still sketchy. You're still
I'm going all max headroom. It
yeah.
looks great over here. It looks
Yeah.
fine over here.
Do I look okay?
Yeah, you look fine to me.
Then it's your feed. Yeah. If you look
Definitely.
fine to
It's
you and bad to me, but I look fine to you, then it's your feed.
yeah.
Yeah, and the audio is like going in and
Well,
out.
what do you
That's
want me
why I
to do?
was saying. Now, why don't you yeah, you wanna try a different connection? You want me to send you another feed or another link and you just try and link in again?
Yeah, let's try to do it. Let me try it.
Okay, we'll
Send
try
me the
that.
link.
All right, folks, hold on a second. I'm gonna get him re-hooked up. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry because I want to have this conversation, and it's difficult to have with him because I think that he's a second or two behind. What did you just link in? You back? Yeah, that's bad too. I just sent you a fresh link.
All right. All right, hang
All right,
on.
check.
Let me go.
Try the fresh link. All right, I'm sorry. I'm good. I seem strong. Yeah, I got nothing dragging on nothing. What's up with you? Uh, I used to get I used to get hammered all the time. when I first moved here, and I would just talk to people, and I would say, "What are you?" And then they'd always be a bit, what do you mean? I'm American." I go, "No, no, but like, what ethnicity are you? What?" "I don't know." "Oh, is that him?" "Okay, hold on. Let's try it." "All right, James, all I'm seeing is a black screen. Say something. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, I can hear.
You're here. All right.
Did
It's
you
still,
start a
yeah,
whole new
you're
screen?
very
Okay.
you're very blurry, but that's okay. Yeah, yeah, and you're a little bit sketchy. I don't know what's happening. Maybe for tomorrow you
Sorry.
reboot before you come on.
Well, you want to
Maybe
call it
maybe
a
you
night?
reboot the Wi-Fi. Do you think what are your kids doing? Gaming? What are they doing? They are they mining Bitcoin right now?
Oh,
Is that
right. No, they're in bed. They gotta go to school in the morning. They go to bed
all
before
right?
I
Well,
get
then
on here.
we're gonna let you go then, because
Okay, fair enough.
it's just it's not worth having this conversation. All right, thank you. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. That's James Parker. He was here and now he's not. Okay. All right. I don't know what else to do now, but I want to order a Pepsi Perfect. What is a Pepsi Perfect? The touch, the feel of cotton. It's his audio too. Audio is choppy. Yeah. Jeff says, according to Ancestry.com, DNA results, I'm 38% Scottish, 35% English, 15% Wales, 4% Ireland, 4% Norway, 3% Sweden, Denmark, 1% Finland, and 100% white guy. That's what you are. You don't get more white guy than that. Me too, though. I'm like my DNA ancestry. It's I technically on paper, like if you charted it, you'd go, oh, you're 100% Irish, but I'm not. I'm mostly Irish, but there's also some Scotch and I believe some Spanish in there. The Spanish Armada, they raped a lot of people on the islands back in the day, and also French. I believe that we've got some French in us as well because our family originally came from France, like a couple hundred years before they settled in Ireland. They were in French. They were in Aubin, France, and then yeah. So that's what I got. But anyway, about this whole thing. So my kid, I drill my kid with the fact that he's Irish. Like he's definitely aware of his Irish cultural background. And I've always wondered, why is it so different? Why do you see, if you ever meet somebody from New York, everybody from New York knows what they are. They're New York Italian, they're New York Irish, they're a New York Jew, they're New York, whatever they are. People from New York are like that. People from Chicago are like that. People from Boston are like that. People from the big old time established American cities are all very aware of whatever it is their familiar cultural background is. And then as you come further south, it sort of gets mushed away where, if you ask somebody from, wherever, hey, what are you? Chances are they'll go, well, I'm American. I go, no, I know we're all American, but where is your family from? Well, originally they're from Mississippi, but no, I mean, I mean, really, like what? There's another part. All of us are immigrants. No, I'm not. I'm not an. Yeah, no, you actually are an immigrant. If you go back far enough in your family, you'll find that you were immigrants. You're not Native American. You're not one of the tribes. So I wonder why that is. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that the big cities were more built around factories, which drew first generation immigrants to America to work in factories. I mean, there weren't like a whole bunch of first generation German people who arrived in Alabama and worked in a field or something like that. The immigrants that would come to this country, they had skills and they would work in industrial trades. So they would come to the big cities that had the big factories, and when they all would show up for these work in these factories, they would then go home to neighborhoods. And especially if you were like Polish or German or someone didn't speak English as a first language, you would tend to live in a neighborhood where other people spoke the same language as you. So that's how you had these sort of pockets all throughout the north of America where people are way more tethered to whatever their cultural background is. But in the South, that was one of the things that I was really struck by when I came down here is that people aren't really aware of what they are, or maybe they're aware to some extent, but it's not celebrated and it's not like held on to. And I don't think there's anything wrong. You know who does? The Mexicans do. The Mexicans. That's the Mexicans in Texas. They are definitely culturally aware. They are absolutely 100% aware of where they came from. And Black America doesn't get this. Black America, unfortunately, they were most Black Americans. That's if their personal family history coincides with the slave trades, then their entire history was washed away. They don't know if they're West African or East African. So I understand that. I understand saying to a friend of mine who was Black, oh, so what are you? And then them not knowing what country, because how could they? Their entire, I mean, the tragedy of the Black American is that their entire ethnicity, their culture was completely washed away through the slave trade. But white people, we all came from somewhere. We all got a grandpa who had an accent or a great grandpa who had an accent. So what is that accent? And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking people about it. And yet I've been made to feel, especially here, especially in Texas, I've been made to feel like I'm doing something wrong when I ask somebody, "Oh, that last name, what are you? What are you, Italian?" I don't know. Well, but your last name is DeCipio. That sounds very Italian. I don't know. I'm American. I go, okay, all right, sorry, dude. What are you getting all up in? Why you asking her she's American? I don't know. I'm just wondering. It's a very odd thing, very odd cultural difference. All right. Fast Outdoor Food says Germans came to Central Texas for the free land back in the day. The good kolaches in the town of West Texas. Yeah, there are pockets. There are certainly pockets of places here in Texas that have you know, but yeah, there's not like an Irish neighborhood in Dallas. There's not like, yeah, my grandma and grandpa. That doesn't exist. That's not a thing. There are Mexican. Mexicans have their neighborhoods, but they're more recent immigrants, right? Isn't that a more no Mexican? What? The Mexicans were here longer before. No, I know, but the Mexicans in Texas still hold on to their culture, which I like, which I applaud. I don't know. What's wrong with just American culture? There's nothing wrong with American culture. I mean, there is, but we really don't have time to talk about all of that. I also am a child of the American culture. So it's my culture too. So I can say whatever the hell I want about it. I'm just saying that when you dig a little bit deeper into everybody's individual family history, you'll find stuff. You'll find German, you'll find Italian, you'll find whatever. You'll find Turk, you'll find Russian, you'll find. And I just, I don't know. I just don't know if, I don't know why people get offended. I don't know why I'm considered to be what are you, a racist? Why am I a racist? I just want to know if she's Greek. She looks Greek to me. Oh, and what does a Greek person look like? A Greek person looks like a Greek person. Oh, I suppose they all look the same. Well, no, but there are defining characteristics that certainly are more common in that part of the world. And then when they have children yes, you can definitely tell. Oh, I suppose you look Irish. Yeah, I do. I look very Irish. I have a very ruddy skin. Yeah, very much so. Freckles, red hair when I was a kid. Yeah, what's your point? That's all. That's all. A tall, thin, wide-shouldered, beautiful blonde woman, and you say, "Oh, so where are you? You must be from. You must be. Are you German? Are you Swedish? Are you?" Chances are you're right. Little little guy. Little guy with a big nose and dark hair. Oh, geez, now you're going too far. What's wrong with a big nose? There's nothing wrong with a big nose. I'm just saying that you can tell when somebody's 100% Italian. Italians look a certain way. They do. They just do. They always have for tens of thousands of years. Italians have looked a certain way. They have a Romanesque feature. That's where that word comes from. Romanesque. Oh, I suppose Jews all look the same too. No, but some do. That's undeniable. Some people who are Jewish definitely look like Jewish people. Oh, I bet you're saying black people look like black people too. Yeah, they do. See, it's their skin. They do. It's their skin. And what about Asian people? Yeah, Asian people. Human beings look different. Human beings look different. And it all comes down to where their genetics are from, what part of the globe, because whatever part of the globe you come up, not you personally, but I'm talking about your great, 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 great grandparents. Whatever part of the globe you came up, that's going to inform the look that you have today. And by me being someone who points that out and looks and says, "Oh my God, are you Italian?" That is not being racist. That's being somebody who's very curious. That's somebody who enjoys other worlds' cultures. Why other worlds? Because it's other, you know what I mean? Other worlds, other cultures, other. People are so sensitive. Yes, fast outdoor food. Almost everybody that I know from Minnesota, they are Norwegian or German or something like that. Byron, I love ambiguous mild racism. How is that racism? See, this is another thing. I have a problem with everything being considered racism. Racism means that I am projecting a whole air that my race is superior to your race. That's nowhere in the conversation when I ask you about yourself, because there are certain tells that you carry around. People have tells. Red hair, pale skin, and freckles. It's not wrong for you to go, "Are you Irish?" It's not. Because chances are they are, because that's where red hair, freckles, and pale skin are most predominant. The white heart. Jeff Glenn. Lots of pretty Norwegians in Minnesota. Yes. Leslie, I know what Leslie is from her last name. And I don't think I've ever asked her, because it's fairly obvious. Leslie is a tall, blonde woman with a last name that has Bach in it. So I don't really need to ask. I know what Leslie is, and it's not racist for me to go, "Oh, she must be German." It's kind of obvious. Now, Jeff, your last name is Glenn. That would suggest to me that you're Irish, but or not Irish, that you're Scottish, but that's all mishmashed and stuff. Yeah, well, Leslie says it's a city in Germany. Okay, it's also a German word. Gladbach, B-A-C-H, Bach, is very, that part of the world. Oh, you're not German, you're Danish? Okay. That's, at least I got the part of the world semi-correct, Granger, Byron Granger. Granger sounds French to me, because it's probably Grandjean, like something like that. So I bet you Byron has some French in him. Definitely some Saxon. Fast outdoor food. I have no clue. What fast outdoor food is. Will C. That C is not enough to go on. I don't know what Will C is. Teutonic people. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Teutons. All right. I think we're going to end it here. Anglicized. Jeff Glenn, you are anglicized French. Hello. Hello. Well, then spell your name in the bad, stupid way. You know how people spell Jeff? Geoph. I hate that. I hate that. That ain't how you spell Jeff. I also hate when people spell John, Jon. I'm like, peasant. That's how peasants spell their name. Kings use the H. Jean. It's the fancy spelling, John. Peasants spell their name Jon. Jeff says I was guessing Byron. Yeah, but Granger, that combination of words, suggests to me that there's some French in there somewhere. Douche. Byron, though. Byron, that is a very Saxon, very Anglo-Saxon last name, but a very American black first name. So Byron's got an American black first name and an anglicized French last name. Now, if it was Granger Byron, then I'd be like, oh, well, what are you? What are you like in the British royal family? That's a Lord Granger Byron. That sounds very fancy. But Byron's like a made up name, unless it's a last name. If it's a last name, then it's But as a first name, that's a very Americanized made up name. It's not in the Bible, Byron. If your name ain't in the Bible, it doesn't count. Okay. Oh, look at this. We got Michael Almanza. Hey, paisan. Michael's Italian. Yeah, he sure is. Right, Michael? You're Italian. Almanza. Michael Almanza. Mickey Almanza. That's a good one. That one tells me right away. So, Michael, you're Italian, right? Why are you being racist? I just saw your last name and I said, hey, that sounds like a cool Italian last name. I didn't realize that that would be offensive to you. Almanza is okay. All right. Yeah, I guess. Sometimes Mexico. Well, very funny thing about the Italian. They're all Romance languages. All the Romance languages all kind of blend together. Those are all very very close. All right, I got you. Michael's Mexican. He's not Italian. You could pass for Italian though with a name like Michael Almanza. Mickey Almanza. Why don't you go with Miguel? Miguel Almanza. No, that I would know. Really? You'd know because of Miguel? Yeah, I would. All right, I got nothing else. It's hot in here. We're going to be back tomorrow for the noon show. I'm sorry about James's. I had other things that I wanted to get into. I wanted this to go into a whole thing, but I need him to talk to. I need to be able to talk to him about it. And we're not going to be able to. But seriously, folks, if you have Amazon Prime, the Lucy and Desi documentary that Amy Poehler did on Amazon Prime is very interesting. And let me tell you something. My imitation of Lucille Ball is dead on. This is exactly how she sounded for like the last 30 years of her life. Darling, she said there was a lot of the people who she sort of mentored were on the show, like Carol Burnett and Bette Midler. And she said to Carol Burnett when she was very young in her career, she said, baby girl, you need anybody, you need somebody, you pick up the phone and you call me. Lucy's gotcha. Lucy was a cool broad. Lucy was cool. All right, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, yeah, you can watch that. Lucy and Desi. Oh, and I'm just saying, if you watch it, I may or may not have started to cry at the end. I might have started to cry at the end. 15 minutes before we came on here at 9:00 as that thing's ending. I'm just saying, when Lucy Arnaz, the daughter of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, when Lucy Arnaz is talking about her father dying, Desi Arnaz, when he was dying, and she was taking care of him, and he was like minutes away from dying, and she picked up the phone and she called her mom, Lucy, and she said, "Hey, Lucy," she said, "Hey, mom, I think Dad's about to go. He doesn't have many more words left. Do you want to talk to him?" And so my mom said, "Yeah, put the phone in his ear." And she put the phone, and she told the story. She's like, "So I held the phone to my dad's ear, and I listened in, and all I heard was my mom say, 'I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.' And then my dad said, 'I love you too, honey.' And then he died." Oh, God! Oh, my God! Just Lucy. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you too, honey. And then he dies. Oh, my God. Not a dry eye in the house. Jeff Glenn says, my son wanted to watch Forrest Gump when he was here. I teared up a time or two. It's so easy for me to get misty. I tried to force my son to watch Forrest Gump last summer. Not this past summer, but the summer before it. So it was he was like 11. So he was 11 in that summer. And he was loving it. We were loving it. We were having so much fun. And then Bubba dies, wrecks my kid. My kid got wrecked by the death of Bubba. We had to turn the movie off and we never went back. So as far as my kid knows about Forrest Gump, that movie ends when Bubba dies. Like, dude, are you old enough now? Do you think he can make it past Bubba dying? I don't want to watch it. I think it's fine the way it is. That was for him. That was the big ending. The big ending was Forrest Gump. He was this guy. He did a lot of stuff. He went to Vietnam. His best friend died. The end. And I'm like, no, there's a whole nother movie. There's a whole bunch more stuff that happens. It's like, no, Dad, I don't need to see it. It was a good movie, made me cry. I wrecked him though. I mean it. I thought he was kidding. Like I thought like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? He's like, just turn it off, man. Just I don't need this right now. I'm like, really? Okay. All right. So I turn it off. He would kill me if he was here and he heard me telling that story. Because it ain't cool. It ain't cool. Dad, cut it out. Well, there's much more of this coming, son. I got all kinds of stories. I got all kinds of stories about you that you don't want out there. Nikki says, not interested in the war anymore. It's not that I'm not interested in the war anymore. It's just, now it has moved on to a point where it's just sad. It's just really sad. There isn't much news happening. We are now in the Vietnam in 1968 era of the war, where it's just endless, just terrible, terrible news. Should anything, as far as me being interested in the war, I still check in, I'm still following it and all that stuff. Should anything like big happen, anything like major, big turns of events or anything like that, I'll get back into it. But there really hasn't been since the incident, like Saturday, I don't know how long ago it was now, when they took the nuclear power plant. That was worth jumping in and talking about, but I'm not even watching Flight Tracker anymore. So, Leslie says, when Forrest Gump sits at her grave and says their kid is smart, I cried. Oh God, I cry so easy. I don't know what's happening to me. Actually, it's not what's happening to me. It's what's happened to me. I'd say it's been a good 10 years. 10 years now where I am just devastated by just whatever. Doesn't matter. Stupid shit. Not so much commercials because I don't watch commercials anymore, but just like stupid stuff. I'll just start crying. I'll be like, oh God, the worst is like when a certain song comes on the radio. It reminds you of something, and I'm just driving and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why am I such a woman? Really? You're going to say that? You're going to denigrate women on International Women's Day? I don't think that it's necessarily denigrating a woman to say that, as far as the genders go, they seem to be more in touch with their kindly spirit than men are. But okay. That's what you want to say. Yeah, I don't know. Is it menopause? It might be. I might be experiencing. I do get, you know what it is? It goes back to having a kid. It's like ever since I had a kid, now I'm like way more sensitive to stuff. My kid can just say, Dad, you know what I did today? And he's like 12, so he doesn't even talk like that. But for some reason, I still make him talk like an 8th grader or like an 8-year-old, when in fact he's going to be an 8th grader and his voice is changing. So it's like Chesterfield Lucy. Hey, Dad, you want to hear something cool? I kissed a girl today. Oh God, Chesterfield Lucy. That's enough. I think we've done enough. I'm out of gas. I am out of gas. I gotta go run. What's the weather like outside? Byron Granger, Mike and the Mechanics in the Living Years came on the other day. I cried like a blubbering girl. Oh, man. Dad died in 19. Oh, Byron. Just cry. Just cry. It means you're human. It means you ain't dead inside. It means you still got life in there. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with crying. Here's if you are alone in your car, there ain't nothing wrong with crying. Nothing. Here's where there's something wrong with crying. When you're standing around a group of people and something doesn't go your way and you break down and start crying, then you got a problem. But on your own, just finding your own space, getting in touch with your emotions, letting it out, That's fine. That just means you're a human being. That means you're normal. Uh, maybe my lack of sex drive means my estrogen is high. Could be. Could be. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out for a run. I gotta get. How much do I gotta get in? I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go. Oh no, I can't. I was gonna. I was saying I was gonna run out towards Lemon Avenue, but boy, I don't know how familiar you are with this particular neighborhood, but it's crazy. You get towards Lemon. There ain't no rules on Lemon Avenue. We got a guy who there's a Whole Foods right there in the corner. We got a guy. He's a homeless guy, and he's got sticks. He's got giant sticks, and he just stands on the corner of on right there at the Whole Foods where the tollway is. He just stands at the corner and he does these stick things. Whoa, 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 with these big sticks. Me and Emil were always like, "Hey, stick guy out there?" Yeah, stick guy was out there. He's got any new moves? Yeah, he's got this new move. He spins it on his head. It's like, but he looks he looks dangerous. I'm just gonna say he looks dangerous. He looks like somebody who is obviously in need of some serious psychiatric care, and he's out there just flinging weapons around, and everybody in the neighborhood just kind of. So I'm gonna run towards Mockingbird. I'm gonna run up towards Mockingbird instead of down towards Lemon, because it's it'll be like 11 o'clock by the time I get to that point, and 11 o'clock on Lemon Avenue. Sketchy, right there at the tollway, right where the tollway ramp is. Yeah, no, too sketchy, man. No, it's not Steven Seagal. It's like I don't know. I would take a picture of him, but I don't want to exploit him because he's obviously got some problems. But he is a character, and I do not want to. All I'm saying is I don't want to run into him. I don't want to be the only guy out there at 11 o'clock in the dark, out of breath. So I can't do it, and then have him go, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I don't want to talk to you, man. I got, and then I couldn't run away fast because I've just run like a mile and a half, and no. So I'm gonna head up towards. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna head up towards Mockingbird. That's it. I'm gonna head towards SMU. I'm gonna run through the big $1 million neighborhoods. I'm gonna stick to the people who have nice houses. I'm going to stick to the neighborhoods where you see the police all the time just driving around. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out running. Bam, there it is. Join us back here tomorrow at noon for High Noon. That's where we're going to cover all the topics of the day, whether it's trending, headlines, hot topics, whatever it is. If people are talking about it, we'll get into it tomorrow at noon. Help me to be strong. Yeah, the whole watching out for drunks thing, Leslie, I would have to do that. I'd have to watch out for drunks if I head towards Lemon, but I'm not. I'm going to head towards. I'm quite literally. I'm going to run towards the block where the man singing here grew up, which is Versailles. John Hinckley grew up on Versailles Avenue, Versailles and Douglas, which is just a couple blocks from here. So I'm going to head up that way. I can smile a little now. Things are going. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Jeff is right. If I was a black guy living here, I probably wouldn't be running through this neighborhood because they would not at this time of night. Actually, not true. We actually have there's a number of minority families that live in this neighborhood. And I see them. Yes, this is a very, you know what it is? Because this is a 1%er neighborhood. If you can live in a one, there is no racism among the 1%. There isn't. There's just money. Money is. Ooh. You're right, Jeff. I'm thinking about that now too. I'm like, I wonder if I don't know, a Dallas County judge who happens to be African American who may live down the street in like a $5 million home. I wonder if that guy feels comfortable jogging through this neighborhood. I wonder. What a shame. What a shame. I do. I'm a white guy. You're right. Are you saying cops are racist? Say I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Maybe I am. I don't know. Am I? What are you saying, Jeff? You put it in my head. Now I'm thinking about it. I have got an old guitar. That is all I need. I don't need no 401. I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending. Oh, I got a question for you. Okay, so and this actually just reminded me now. Okay, so I was out running and today, and it was probably about I don't know 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I saw these two women walking towards me. One was a white woman, one was a black woman, and the black woman was pushing. She was pushing a stroller. She had a baby in there, and we were stopped at the corner because it was on Armstrong, and Armstrong is a four-way stop, and yeah, because cars they whiz by, and I stopped and I wanted to like look in the bassinet because I love babies, but I didn't. And I didn't because I didn't want to be weird about it. And I thought to myself, that's terrible. I'm just a nice person who wants to compliment her on her baby, but because of the world we live in, I'm afraid to even say it. It was weird. I don't know. It's just like a weird. So I just kind of stood there running in place, totally ignoring the fact that there was this adorable little cooing baby right there. Good. Yeah, and it reminded me there's a black family. It was they're nice, very nice, very woman. They're out there walking, her and her friend pushing the baby. Very nice. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way. Why do I support Hinckley? I don't think I'm supporting Hinckley. I'm not paying. He's not getting paid. This is nothing. He's not on a record label. This is a free song that I play. And I do like the song. And at first I thought it was funny. And then I thought it was interesting that John Hinckley can actually write a song that people like. And here we are. So baffling to some, I can smile a little now. Things are going. Leslie, you're absolutely right. That was the play. That was the play to look in and go, oh my God, I was yeah. I didn't. So I just kept my mouth shut and I deprived myself of the momentary joy of seeing a little baby in a stroller. Also, a little bit intimidated because the mom was like really attractive and her friend was like really attractive and they're 1%er wives, So I felt like, oh, they're probably awful people. They might spray me with mace or something. No, they won't because there's a baby there. But you know what I mean? I didn't want to be. I think rich people are mean. So and look at that. Hey, I thought you said she was. I did. Yeah, she was a nice looking, very nice looking black lady. But I think rich people are mean, regardless of their color. Had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. You know who's nice in this neighborhood? Old people. Old people are really nice. And maybe it's because they have to be nice because they're afraid of being victimized. I don't know. Maybe is that something that happens when you're old? Middle-aged people, like middle-aged, like 60 through like 40. The people who live in this neighborhood between the ages of 40 and 60 suck. Oh my God. You can be walking towards them on a sidewalk and they're walking towards you and you'll be making eye contact with them for, I don't know, the better part of a quarter mile. And when you walk by, I always go, how you doing? Or I smile or I'll step off onto the grass, because you don't want to crowd the sidewalk. 9 times out of 10, these people just, I'm like, what dicks? Not old people though. Old people always say hi. I kind of like that. I am on a never-ending quest. Okay, bye everybody. I am on a never-ending quest. Hi, I just have to say, rich people are pretty mean.